Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Inner Voice. I hear a bit of an echo here. Well, I guess, let's see. Are we on the air? 1, 2? Yeah, it looks like we are. Okay. Welcome, as I say, to our program, The Inner Voice, a program about life. You are tuned to 1422 medium wave. This is the new Pan-Hellenic voice, and I am Dr. Gabrielides. I'll be with you till 1 o'clock this afternoon. Give me a moment as I greet my fellow Greek listeners, and I'll be back this afternoon. I want to talk about trust and barriers to trust. Start off talking about that and see where the Spirit takes us. Καλησπέρα σας, κυρίες και κύριοι. Είσαστε συντονισμένοι στα 1422 μεσαία της Νέας Πανελλήνιας Φωνής με την εκπομπή μας Εσωτερική Φωνή. Μαζί σας ο Δόκτωρ Παναγιώτης Γαβριηλίδης μέχρι τις 1 η ώρα. Το θέμα μας σήμερα αφορά την ζωή μας. Μείνετε λοιπόν συντονισμένοι μαζί μας και εύχομαι να αναπαύσουμε λίγο και να χαμογελάσουμε λίγο σήμερα. Alright. Trust and barriers to trust. We as humans, we as people have always found it hard to trust in the past, historically, and of course now and probably in the future. Unfortunately, we find it hard to trust ourselves, even trust other people, trust institutions. For some reason we find it hard to trust. And that presents a lot of problems to us that need not be there. So this afternoon I want to start off by talking about trust. Sometimes I know personally when things don't go the way I want, rather than sitting back maybe and letting things go their own way, is a time to do that, balance in life. I start pushing and shoving, trying to make things happen my way, the way that I want. I'm sure you can relate to this, whether it's something, say, at work or at home or wherever. We start getting forceful and insisting going on things a certain way, usually our way. Even when it is obvious, at least to others around us, that things are not going that way at all. For example, you may be working on a project and everything, and I mean everything, seems to be going wrong. We can all relate to that. So what is our normal tendency when that happens? Well, we start getting tenacious and bullheaded and push and shove and try to make it go the way we want, isn't it? We keep pushing, we keep trying to make it happen, to make it go right, quote unquote, as if there is a right way and a wrong way. And sometimes there is. Usually there is. But normally, when things don't go a certain way, there is a reason why not. And it's usually a futile exercise to try and change them. It's somewhat like trying to make the river flow upstream. So I always enjoy watching willow trees, being around willow trees, because they're always around water. They're beautiful trees to be under, to be around, to touch, to feel, to play with. But you notice that willow trees are very pliable. They're easy and ready to bend with the wind, to bend with the rain, to bend with the storm. And at the end of the storm, the willow trees are still there. Maybe a little battered, maybe they've lost a few leaves, but the tree essentially is there unharmed, because it has learned the lesson, metaphorically speaking, to bend with the wind, to bend with the storm, and not to be intransigent and unbending, as opposed to, let's say, pine trees, which I witnessed this once when a tornado hit our area and actually hit our home in Texas. This vicious storm, a full-out tornado, hit our backyard. Had quite a big backyard full of tall pine trees. Now, these pine trees don't bend. They're unbending. Well, the tornado hit one in two places, and it broke in two places, and one of them fell right through our home, causing lots of destruction. Thankfully, no one was in that room. So there's a lesson to be learned from nature, the nature of willow trees, that sometimes we need to bend. We need to bend with the storms in life. So what is it in our makeup that induces us to behave this unbending way when we find ourselves in unbending mode? When we refuse to trust. We want to have our own way. We want to be right. We want to feel like we're in charge and that things are going exactly the way we want them to. Yet, what is the reality behind this attitude? What is behind such an attitude? Is our personal motivation due to insecurity, perhaps? Is it maybe a feeling that if we don't hang on tightly to control, that everything will fall apart? Is it maybe a fear that things may not work out in our favor if we don't try to control the outcome? There's another negative word, being a control freak. Is it perhaps that? Basically, the cause of this attitude seems to stem from a lack of trust in the universe, or the God force, or life, or whatever you choose to call that higher power. We don't trust that someone or something else may know another way. We don't trust that there is an innate intelligence in everything and everyone. It doesn't all depend on us. It's okay if things don't go exactly the way we want them to. I'm often pleasantly surprised when things don't go my way, they go much better. I'm sure we've all experienced it, okay? So it's okay for you and me to go to sleep for 8 hours every 24. The world will keep turning. The sun will rise, the sun will set, the rains will fall at the right place, the winds will blow at the correct time, the bees will pollinate the flowers, etc., etc. It's okay for you to go to sleep and rest. See what I'm getting at? A hyperbole here to highlight how ridiculous it is that we should feel that we should always be in control. Now, please, I'm balanced. I'm not advocating that we should never be in control, or that we should never attempt to get things to go our way, or that we should not plan and exercise our willpower, etc. No, of course not. That's not where I'm coming from. Where I'm coming from today is those times when the plans of mice and men gang after glee, as Robert Burns would say in Ode to a Church Mouse, or some beautiful poem like that. I think that's the title. Ode to a Poor Church Mouse, something like that. Robert Burns. Very well-known poem. So we don't trust that there is an innate intelligence in the universe, and that sometimes if we simply let go, things may work out in exactly in divine order. You've all experienced and can relate to what I'm talking about, I'm sure. Now, what I'm talking about is actively letting go. To actively let go, which sounds like an oxymoron, as I keep saying, but maybe not. See, in hypnotherapy, we do an exercise that requires that we relinquish control and actively trust someone else. Not to hypnotize us per se, but to be our guide. because no one can hypnotize you against your will. That's Hollywood. You actually always put yourself in the trance. The hypnotist or the hypnotherapist is merely the guide that takes you through the relaxation steps where you allow yourself to go into an altered state of mind, which merely means a relaxed state of mind, but you got to trust the guide to do that. See, and most people, because of the image that Hollywood, the negative image that Hollywood has set for the public about hypnosis, most people dread hypnosis, and they will not even consider allowing anyone to hypnotize them unless they're very adventurous. What most people don't realize, though, is that on average, most of us put ourselves in a trance for about 4 hours every day. For example, those of you who drive, I'm sure you've all experienced driving from point A to point B, and you don't know how you got there. It's a drive that you've taken 100 times before, say from work to home or vice versa, and you sort of go into an alpha state of mind, which is the first stage of hypnosis, the first stage of relaxation, the alpha state, the trance state. So hypnosis is actually a natural phenomenon that we all experience every day. So it's not anything to be feared. Now, of course, look, I would not want anybody I don't trust messing with me with hypnotherapy or being my guide. Obviously, you have to respect and trust those of you who are allowed to be your guides, because it can be misused. Not dangerously, but it can be a nuisance. Anyway, so the goal of hypnotherapy should be, and that's how I use hypnosis. I don't use it to entertain people. I don't use it to impress people. I use it as therapy. Okay, the therapy is the goal of the therapy is to break through fears and to learn to trust ourselves chiefly, and then others. I wonder if you really trust yourself. That's a big problem in our society. Most of us don't trust ourselves. That seems a strange thing to say. But there are very, very few truly self-confident people walking the planet. Oh, lots of them walk around in a bravado kind of way, in a macho kind of way, projecting the sort of aura and the illusion of self-confidence, but often, very often, you'll find the opposite. They're hiding an inferiority complex and an insecurity issue. So the hypnotherapy exercise that I'm referring to is to close your eyes and let yourself fall backwards, trusting that the person lined up behind you will catch you. See, that's how you test. That's a quick way to test how hypnotic someone is, how susceptible to hypnosis someone is. You get them to stand in front of you and you say, well, I will catch you, fall backwards. Some people, it's quite funny, they will lean over backwards, but they will not fall backwards. They almost lean over backwards, almost 90 degrees. My father was such a person. It was quite funny when I did the test with him. He would not fall backwards. He almost leant backwards, almost 90%. It was quite funny. Anyway, and of course, such people are very difficult to hypnotize because they refuse to relinquish that total control. Anyway, and understandably, I guess, because for those people who are into control and who are not very trusting, this person who's going to catch you as you fall backwards is normally a stranger. who is also training with you. So unless it's a hypnotherapist that you know and respect and you trust, it's difficult, isn't it, to let go. I would be in that category too. I struggle to trust. I have to remind myself that it's okay to trust. Anyway, it's not always easy. It's not at all always easy, my friends, to close your eyes and trust that someone will be there to catch you as you fall. But that is actively letting go, metaphorically. You close your eyes metaphorically, you trust, and you fall, and you let yourself go. When doing the exercise, I remember arguing with the voices in my head, the good voices in my head, not the schizophrenic ones. I don't have those, by the way, in case you're wondering. I remember arguing with the voices in my head, the ones that say, I can't do it. And then I would say, yes, I can. Then I would say, no, I'm scared. What if they don't catch me? Then I would say, oh, sure, everybody's doing it. It's safe. Do it. And so on. What if I fall? And so on and so on. It seemed that my feet were cemented to the floor on which I stood, making it impossible for me to let go and fall backwards into the hands of the person behind me. But eventually I did it. Anyway, now, the crazy thing about this whole process, by the way, is that, of course, when you're training, everybody's standing on soft matting, on soft carpeting, so even if we fell, it would not really be that big a problem. We would not hurt ourselves, but still, the mind is petrified at the thought of letting go, not willing to trust oneself to fall backwards into someone else's hands, and not willing to trust the safety of the matting. So the actively letting go comes when you finally, for some of us, clench your teeth and allow your body to fall backward. Okay, now, in real life, we may not see our various safety nets, like the soft matting, yet they are always there. They're always there. You see, we're not taught that at school. We're not taught that at university. There's a universal law, my friends, that we become what we think about. And we manifest in life what we expect to manifest in life. If you expect to fall, you will fall. If you expect to get hurt, you will get hurt. But if on the other hand you trust and you hold that image in your mind and you expect to be okay, you will be okay. Oh, you may be bruised here and there, yes, as you're learning, like a little child learning to first crawl and then walk and then run. Yes. But by and large, as you become a mature adult and as you learn to use the laws of the universe around you, you realize that what you expect happens to you. You become what you think about. Input equals output. We have about 65,000 thoughts a day. Researchers have found that most of them are negative. Really, by far most of them. Like 64,990 negative thoughts a day, the average person, and only maybe 10 positive thoughts. Now, other researchers have found that the power of one positive thought is infinitely greater than thousands of negative thoughts. You see? So, if, say, we have only 10 positive thoughts a day, and yet we get through the day, most of us, what happens if we actively sat down and said, well, okay, look, I'm going to have 20 positive thoughts today, or 30, or 40 of the 65,000. Not unfeasible. You can consciously learn to do that, isn't it? So as you learn to do that, and as you become experienced to expect the best in life, then the best will happen to you. That's how it works. We become what we think about. Those 65,000 thoughts, whatever it is you think about, 65,000 times a day, you and me, all of us, we become that. That's the bad news. The good news is that's wonderful, because now we can consciously begin to be aware of those 65,000 thoughts. And by practice, 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 one step at a time, one thought at a time, one day at a time, 1 hour at a time, 5 minutes at a time sometimes, we can arrest those thoughts and change them from negative expectations, from discouraging expectations, from depressing expectations, to healthier ones, healthier expectations. See, and that way, one step at a time, one day at a time, you begin to change your world, and you begin to grow as an individual and become stronger in mind and in body and in spirit. And you realize that the universe is always there and always ready to catch you if you fall. And you will fall. Sure, we all do. It's not the point. The point is not to give you some kind of guarantee that you will never fall. However, when we learn to become faithful like that, if I can put it, when we learn to have faith in the universe, when we learn to have trust in the universe, sometimes when we think we are falling or failing, we're not. All that happens is the universe is actually helping us to change location, to look at life from another angle. See, perhaps we are in an unhappy marriage or relationship, and the decision to divorce may actually be the passport into a happier and healthier existence. Perhaps we are unhappy at our job and we didn't get that promotion we wanted, or we get fired, and the safety net is that there is a much better job waiting for us just around the corner if we exercise our minds to expect the best. So when we find ourselves going against the current, or when we find that everything is going wrong in our life, maybe we need to stop and ask ourselves, what is really going on? What is really going on? Are we unwilling to trust and let go? Is the fear of the future so captivating that we are unwilling to trust that something better is always waiting just around the corner, if we will only take that first step? So the universe will not do that for you, because then it would be babysitting you, and the universe is no babysitter. The universe is in the business of training you to become stronger, not training you to become weaker. So you've got to take that first step. Even though you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, we may be headed in the wrong direction, and the universe is trying to straighten us out by sending us all kinds of challenges. So, in closing, the first half will be here till 1 o'clock. We're going to go to commercial break in 2 or 3 minutes. But in closing, I invite us to pay attention to the signals in our life. They are constantly there. When something is a struggle, there is a message there. Perhaps we need to handle the situation differently. Perhaps we're at the wrong place at the wrong time, or at the right place at the wrong time. Perhaps we need to change direction. A struggle or any challenge always comes with a gift. That's a positive way to look at it. A message, a lesson, a blessing. My friends, whenever you're struggling, whenever you're challenged, whenever you're discouraged, whenever you think that this is the end of the world, stop, take a deep breath, and look for the good. Count your blessings. Even in the midst of despair, count your blessings. Well, are you still breathing? Yes, that's a blessing. Can you see? Do you have your sight? Yes, that's a blessing. Can you smell? Yes. Can you taste? Yes. You start with these basic things because the universe is energy. Energy, energy, energy. It is all about energies, and you are a transmitter and a receiver of energy. So whenever you receive energies that are negative, that are grim, that energies that suck, as we say in the US, take time off to breathe deeply and to summon your strength to now transmit positive energies out there instead of negative. You say, hello, negative energies, and goodbye. I am now transmitting. I'm now going to transmit positive energies. I'm going to look for the blessing. I'm going to look for the gift, the message, the lesson in this challenge, in this trial, in this struggle. And then you'll see, because the universe is energy, the universe will respond to you once you start changing the frequency. Like those of you listening to me right now, you're listening to me right now because you're tuned to 1422 medium wave. You're tuned to that frequency, and you're listening to me. If you turn the dial, you will tune to another frequency. It's the same with negative and positive energies, negative and positive frequencies. What frequency would you rather choose to be tuned to? Obviously, any sane person will say, well, a happy frequency, a feel-good frequency, a positive frequency. Where we say, yes, we don't have all the answers, yes, we don't know what's going to happen, yes, we don't have all the wherewithal, yes, we're not perfect, we're not perfectly healthy, we're not perfectly rich, but there are things we can do that will help us to get there, to improve our lives step by step. So letting go, my friends, means trusting that the process of life is always in balance, and that whatever the outcome, it will be for the best. Look for the best. It's difficult. I know. Been there, done that. Just like you. I have been in very difficult situations, and I'm sure I will continue to face difficult situations in the future, just like you will. Yeah, no one's promising us a rose garden like the song of yesteryear says, okay? But look for the good. Actively letting go means following one's inner wisdom or one's intuition or one's inner voice and doing what feels right to you while trusting that whatever action one takes will bring us to a solution, whatever that solution may be. All right, my friends, we are halfway. Stay with us here on 1422 medium wave of the new Pan-Hellenic voice. We're going to go to a brief commercial break, then we'll be right back with the inner voice. This is Dr. Gabrielides. My telephone number is pen and paper, those of you who do want to contact me. I'll give it again at the end. My number is 076-189-6690. I repeat, 076-189-6690. Θα πάμε τώρα, κυρίες και κύριοι, στο συνηθισμένο μας διαφημιστικό διάλειμμα και θα είμαστε και πάλι μαζί σε λίγα λεπτά εδώ στα 1422 μεσαία κύματα της νέας Πανελλήνιας Φωνής. Να συνεχίσουμε το πρόγραμμά μας, Εσωτερική Φωνή. Ο Δόκτωρ Παναγιώτης Γαβριηλίδης μαζί σας μέχρι τις 1 η ώρα. Το τηλέφωνο μου για όποιον θέλει να επικοινωνήσει μαζί μου. Μολύβι και χαρτί. Θα το επαναλαμβάνω πάλι στο τέλος του προγράμματος της εκπομπής. Το νούμερό μου είναι 076 189 6690. Επαναλαμβάνω, 076 189 6690. You're tuned to 1422 medium wave of the new Pan-Hellenic voice. This is the Inner Voice Hour. I am Dr. Gabrielides. Welcome back to our program. Okay, second half till 1 o'clock. I spoke about trust and trusting. First half. Second half, I'd like to switch gears and talk about play. Yeah, how that we should play more often. When I recently updated my list of personal goals, It became quite obvious that I had neglected one that was critical to my self-development, to all our self-development. Actually, I'd been ignoring this one for some time now. I realized that I'd once again fallen into the trap of being far too serious and neglecting play, recreation. See, I have a saying that says seriousness is a disease of the ego. Flee seriousness. Too many of us are far too serious. We don't play, and we don't play often enough. I am convinced that we all need to spend more time in playful activities, recreational activities. Life for most of us is way too unbalanced in the Western world. Yes, work is very important, and it pays the bills for most of us. For some of us, though, work is more than that. Work is our passion, but that's for very, very, very few people. There are that blessed that work is their passion, that work is their hobby. Most people think, oh no, Monday morning, work. And Monday morning around 9 o'clock is when most heart attacks happen. People think, man, I'd rather exit the earth plane than go back to that rat hole. So play keeps us young at heart and energized. Recreation does. If done properly, it can also make us more effective at work and at home, obviously. At one point in our lives, play was how we spent most of our time, isn't it? And we were good at it as little children, as teenagers. But as we get older, though, play decreases. And we take on the more serious role of being an adult. This, of course, leaves little time for play. In fact, when we play, we have actually been known to feel guilty, don't we? Those workaholics among us. What? Why am I playing? There's work to do. Friends, there's always work to do. There was work to do before you were born. There will be work to do throughout your life. And there will be work to do long after you and I are gone. So balance. You feel guilty and catch yourself playing. Oh, is anybody seeing me? Did they see me play? Did they see me smile? Did they see me laugh? What will they think of me? Maybe they will think you're more interesting than someone that hasn't smiled or come up with one innovative idea in 5 years or something. Play can be many different things. To name a few, it can mean playing tennis, chess. Yeah, I enjoy tennis and chess and music. Some may enjoy riding their bikes. I don't. I have a rotten sense of balance. I don't ride bikes or motorbikes or anything like that. Forget it, I'll break my neck. For some, play can mean a little bit of romance. Even for those who are married, yes. You can start courting your wife again, man. Start dating your wife all over again. Fall in love with her all over again. There must have been a reason why you started dating her in the first place. You couldn't get enough time to be with her. What happened to that? She's still there. That person is still there. So go on an adventure and knock on her door and find that young, vibrant woman that you were so taken up with when you were younger. She's still there. She's still inside. I see play as anything that allows me to escape the world of adult responsibilities long enough to enjoy life to its fullest. Recently, I was watching my little grandson engage in play. He's 1.5 years, and it was so wonderful. There were 2 little boys visiting him, and I watched him and the 2 little boys bang on their drums, dance wildly to music, run around like Tasmanian devils, having the time of their life. And they so reminded me of myself when I was a little boy. My grandson even looks like me. I thoroughly enjoyed the experience. It was almost as if I was down there on my knees playing with them as well. Life should be exciting for kids. It should. Life when you're a child should be an endless source of amazement and adventure and learning. Life, though, should be the same at 80 years of age and at 90. Why not? If you're 80 or 90, you also need recreation. You will need recreation until the time comes to exit the earth plane. Playfulness can make all the difference, you see, between success and failure in a culture that depends on creativity and innovation. That's a paradox in our society. We depend on creativity, we depend on innovation, yet God help you, so to speak, if you're caught laughing at work and you have one of those bosses who doesn't allow laughing. This is a place of work. This is a serious place. No laughing, no talking, no smiling. Come on, give me a break. Just judge me by how well I do or how efficiently I do my job at the end of the day, okay? Judge me by that. Don't judge me by the fact that I take a moment here and there in balance to laugh at a joke or to play with the ball or do something silly to release the seriousness, the tension within us. See, so when someone tells you that you're supposed to give up playful ways when you get older, just tell them they're dead wrong. What they're probably referring to is giving up childish ways, yes, and childish things, yes. But we should never give up playful things. There's a difference between being, say, 50 and being playful or childish. Yeah. You can be playful without being childish. You can also be childish without being playful. Yeah, just lie on your back, throw your legs and arms in a tantrum. That's being childish, but that's definitely not being playful, is it? So there's a world of a difference. A world of a difference between being childish and being playful. We can be playful without being childish. We don't want to be childish at 30 and 40 and 50. No. But we certainly want to be playful. And if you look around you and you notice healthy organizations, healthy corporations are generally playful organizations. There's a levity there. There's a balance. These people that run these corporations, they understand the value of recreation, of play, as a way to keep their people, their staff, energized and motivated. I mean, come on. You're a bookkeeper, been doing books for 20 years. And there you are, it's only 11 o'clock in the morning. Think, oh my word, all I have to look forward to is more bookkeeping. Never ends. But what if on the weekend you have a basketball game scheduled or a picnic or a weekend away, and you can think, okay, I'll do the books, because soon I'm going to be swimming in the sea or playing ball on the beach or climbing a mountain or watching a zebra run around and being free. You think, yeah, wish I was a zebra. They don't ever have to do books. They don't ever have to worry about paying their bills. You know, I shudder to think that there are organizations that take pride in the fact that they don't allow their people to have fun. How sad, how wretched, how short-sighted, how myopic. We don't believe in that kind of silliness around here. Oh, really? Maybe that explains the high rate of turnover and the frozen scowls on the faces of everyone that walks through your door. Wise corporations even have playground directors. Did you know that? I'm not kidding. They have people assigned the additional duty of coming up with activities and games and equipment that would allow their people to relieve stress, you see. That's the idea, to achieve balance by relieving stress, by promoting camaraderie and generating money-making ideas. You see, it all works hand in hand, all works together. So playtime, in a time when we're most creative, when we were little, when the world is full of possibilities and we're all players. See, that's what playtime is. That's what playtime is. A time when we are creative, when we see possibilities. So what has changed in the world to make us afraid of recreation, of play? What has changed? Do we carry some type of gene, maybe, that diminishes playfulness in direct proportion to the passing of time? No way. I know that's not the case. Or are we maybe just so swallowed up with the events in our lives that we treat play as a rare event that is best kept on a shelf and only taken down, brushed off, and experienced on rare occasions? The answer, of course, will vary on what we value in life, isn't it? Unfortunately, I've noticed a direct link between chronological age and playfulness. Gee, you have to. I've also noticed that there are those that have been able to bridge that gap and remain playful long past the time when that type of activity is considered acceptable. You often hear, why doesn't she act her age? Maybe because she gets it and you don't. Maybe she understands. Maybe she's wiser. Because sometimes we shouldn't act our age. Here are some researcher put together 10 good reasons why play is good for us. Let's see how many we can get through. Maybe all of them, maybe not. Alright, reason number 1. Play is the path to fun and profit. Recreation or play opens up new channels of creativity and increases the level of satisfaction that we experience at work. Abundant research shows this. This is not a secret for those who have researched these things. How employees feel about their company is directly related to their level of productivity and creativity. Research shows that highly motivated employees are up to 127% more productive than averagely motivated employees in high complexity jobs. Fortune magazine published that research back in January of 1998. Another reason why play is good for us is that fun is like a new status symbol, a status symbol. Once again, studies show that if you want to attract and keep talented people, if you're a business or a corporation and you want to attract and keep talented people, you need to have a fun and challenging and creative workplace environment. Otherwise, you lose your people, because that's what they want. That's what they want. They want a fun environment, a challenging and a creative workplace environment. They don't want a serious place where you're never allowed to smile. You see, it's your talent, your staff, that sets your business apart from the competition. Always, always, always. You can learn so much about the character of a company by the way its staff treat you. So if you walk into a store and the people all have long faces, run to another store where you're welcomed with open arms. Why would you want to buy things from a store where people are all serious, have long faces, scowls on their faces? 10 to 1, you'll have to bring what you buy back in the next week because it's defective. And then they will give you 1,000 reasons why they refuse to change it. But you walk into a store where people are positive. Oh man, 10 to 1, they're selling good merchandise, nice merchandise that won't pack up in 2 weeks' time. And if it does, they'll be happy to give you another one or to help you with it. See? Another reason why play is good for us is that non-stop work is for losers. Play is as important as work in the balance of things. The quality of our work suffers if we don't take time to play. It's a fact. We live in a workaholic society on this planet. We're addicted to busyness. You see, being addicted to busyness is a product of low self-worth. Because if you had high self-worth, you would know that you have a right to recreation and to balance in life. And you would do your work very well, much better than the person who's stressed out and never smiles, never laughs, never takes time to play because they're worried about losing their job. See, such people, unfortunately, maybe have low self-worth. They're worried. And most of the time it's not their fault. They just don't know any better. They've been trained in this serious society, you see. Mistake. Even the Creator rested on the seventh day, right? Why not? So we need time to be idle. We need to take time to do nothing. Because taking time to do nothing lets problems or challenges incubate in our mind, you see. And we can watch them there in our mind, the back of our mind, our subconscious, like a chicken turning on the rotisserie, you see. So we can watch the problem turn around in our minds, in the rotisserie of our minds. And then suddenly, an idea will come to us. A creative idea of how to solve the problem. Children who are allowed to daydream develop, believe it or not, a higher IQ. That's a fact. Play also helps us find our genius. And you see, everyone has genius in them. Yes, you listening to me right now. Your passion, your childhood passions, somewhere in one of or more of your childhood passions is hidden your genius. What I'm trying to say is your childhood passions are the key to your genius, because in the midst of play we experience unlimited possibilities. And that is the definition of a genius, one who sees and begins to experience unlimited possibilities. Okay? Is a Zen saying to end off with, that the bow kept forever taut will break. Play helps us relax and to let go so we don't break. Play generates joy. Play replenishes and revitalizes our human spirit. It clears the mental cobwebs that keep us from thinking clearly. So, my friends, I invite you to take a little time and play. Well, we have come to the end of the road for today, my friends. Tune in again next Monday at high noon, 12 o'clock, 12 noon, right here on 1422 medium wave, till 1 o'clock of the new Pan-Hellenic Voice. I do consult as a natural medicine practitioner. For those of you who do wish to consult me, my telephone number is 076 189 6690. I repeat a little slower, 076 189 6690. CDs of this program and past programs are available from me. Contact me if you're interested. Also, if you have a group that you would like me to give a talk to, contact me. I'll be happy to oblige. and I do those talks for free. Till next time, my friends, take care and keep smiling. From me, Dr. Gabrielides. Have a good week. Λοιπόν, κυρίες και κύριοι, φτάσαμε στο τέλος της εκπομπής μας και για σήμερα. Θα είμαι και πάλι μαζί σας. Oh yeah, don't forget my program tomorrow night, 7 to 8 p.m. Holistic Health Hour, right here on 1422 medium wave. Tomorrow night, 7 to 8 p.m. Λοιπόν, κυρίες και κύριοι, θα είμαι και πάλι μαζί σας την επόμενη Δευτέρα από τις 12 το μεσημέρι μέχρι τις 1 η ώρα το απόγευμα στα 14-22 μισή κύματα της νέας Πανελλήνιας Φωνής. Όσοι από εσάς θέλετε να με συμβουλευτείτε για διάφορες θεραπείες με Natural Medicine, μπορείτε να επικοινωνήσετε μαζί μου στο τηλέφωνο 076 189 6690. Επαναλαμβάνω, πιο σιγανά, 076 189 6690. Επίσης μπορώ να σας προμηθεύσω CDs αυτού του προγράμματος και όλων των προηγουμένων προγραμματών μου. Όπως επίσης δίνω διαλέξεις στην αγγλική. Αν έχετε ένα group που ενδιαφέρεται για μια τέτοια διάλεξη, μην διστάσετε να επικοινωνήσετε μαζί μου. Οι διαλέξεις μου είναι εντελώς δωρεάν. Αυτά λοιπόν, αγαπητοί μου ακροατές, από μένα, τον Δόκτωρα Παναγιώτη Γαβριηλίδη. Καλή σας απόγευμα και καλή σας μέρα. Μην ξεχάσετε να με ακούσετε αύριο βράδυ από τις 7 μέχρι τις 8 εδώ στα 14-22 μεσαία κύματα της νέας Πανελλήνιας Φωνής.